Hello there. In today's story, I would like to share a touching tale of a cunning alpha wolf and how he perished because of love. Watch until the end and tell me how this tale made you feel. Let me take you back in the 19th century. In the northern part of Mexico, in Currumpaw, lived a clever wolf known as Lobo. The townfolk, especially the shepherds, knows him very well. They fear Lobo and his wolves because every time he went to the valley, it meant demise in their livelihood. Lobo was a strong, raging wolf, best known for being cunning, a worthy leader of his pack. However, it was odd that his pack was quite small, having only 5 predators. Usually, strong wolves like Lobo go with bigger packs. Nonetheless, Lobo's pack members were very loyal. Numerous shepherds tried their best to kill at least one wolf from Lobo's pack, but to no avail. The shepherds suffered losses daily, their cows dead one by one, and this went on for 5 years. As years passed, the wolves had preyed on around 2,000 cows, and they make sure to attack the best cows in every herd, leaving the sickly untouched. One night, 2 shepherds were alarmed when the wolves attacked 250 sheep. If only the sheep were a little smarter to know whom to follow. A flock of sheep is usually led by goats, but Lobo's pack killed all of the goats first. Afterward, Lobo made a clever move as his pack attacked all the sheep scattered throughout the valley. It took the shepherds a long time to gather them all, but many were found lifeless. Lobo became a threat to the local farmers' livelihood, making them put up a reward for Lobo's head. One day, a shepherd saw the pack tearing a cow. He poured poison on the cow's meat, hoping to drive the wolves away. However, the next day, the shepherd was surprised to see that the wolves had left the poisoned pieces of meat untouched, eating only the safe part of the cow's meat. This heightened the reward for Lobo's head, reaching $1,000, a high price for a wolf's head. The value enticed a lot of hunters to come to Currumpaw. One hunter from Texas named Tenere brought his guns, horses, and a pack of wolfhounds. Tenere is confident he could hunt down Lobo, for he has killed many wolves in his hometown. In the morning, Tenere set out to hunt with his dogs, hastily finding the traces of the wolves. But Tenere could only watch them from afar, for he couldn't catch them. At night, he counted his dogs, and was shocked to know many had gone missing, and only 6 of the dogs returned. Tenere continued his hunt until his beloved horse died, leaving him defeated as he returned to Texas. Many hunters kept coming, but to no avail. Lobo's pack remained unscratched. The pack, together with Lobo's she-wolf, created a lair near Joe Kalin's farm, a farm situated among the rocks. Throughout summer, the wolves attacked the cows, sheep, and even the farmers' dogs, making the farmer seek desperate help from a famous wolf hunter, Ernest Seton. Ernest agreed to catch the famous wolf himself, even claiming to get rid of the wolves in a span of 2 weeks. The cunning Lobo avoided all poisoned meat and bypassed all traps. The pack only ate the meat of the cows they had personally attacked. Lobo even mocked the hunter by gathering all the poisoned meat in one big pile and pooping on top of it. Lobo's cunning action ruined the efforts of Ernest and his 2 helpers in setting up traps for a whole week. The wolf cleverly dug the ground around each trap so that the other wolves would not stumble into them. A fuss circulated that maybe Lobo is a werewolf. Meanwhile, Ernest followed the wolves' footprints in the snow. This made him notice that sometimes a small wolf ran ahead of the leader Lobo. It was odd because normally a pack's alpha punishes insolent and rude wolves who disrespect them. This was an act of disrespecting Lobo's leadership, but this did not happen in this case. The shepherds told Ernest that it was Blanca, Lobo's she-wolf. This made Ernest realize that the cunning wolf was in love with a beautiful white fur she-wolf. Blanca gets Lobo's favor, making her do more than the others. The hunter observes Blanca from afar and takes notice of how Lobo allows her to violate the pack's order. This discovery fueled Ernest's new plan to catch Lobo. He took some meat and placed it where it could be visibly seen. He also put up 2 sets of traps nearby. One meat was separated, and it was heavily surrounded by 6 traps. Also, Ernest took a wolf's paws and placed footprints around all the traps. That night, the valley echoed with Lobo's furious howling, making Ernest realize his plan worked. Early morning, Ernest eagerly went to check out his plan. And, to his astonishment, one wolf was caught. Ernest and his companions saw various footprints and followed them up until a mile away from the site. There they saw a dazzling white she-wolf whose paw was trapped. It was Blanca. Blanca howled as she looked at the people. She was desperately pleading for help, but the hunter just threw a rope around her neck and left her. That night, Lobo returned to Blanca's side, not leaving her as he tried to set her free, but to no avail. The hunter tied Blanca's body to a horse and dragged it along the ground. Lobo was wretchedly howling all day as he saw his dead mate, his beloved she-wolf Blanca. Ernest describes Lobo's howl as heartbreaking. The pain of losing his beloved distorted Lobo's rationality, making him follow Blanca's trace up to the farm. And that's where he fell into the hunter's trap. But Lobo managed to break free at first when he realized his mistake. This made the hunter think that they should have kept Blanca alive to use her as bait. Ernest set up 130 traps and used Blanca's paws, creating a footprint around each trap. On the first day, they failed to catch Lobo, but on the second day, Lobo was caught. Lobo's love for his she-wolf destroyed him. Lobo howled for help as the hunter approached him, but none of his pack came. Lobo growled as he bit and snapped the trap around him. He fought wildly. The hunter could only apologize as he told Lobo that he had to finish him off. He then tied a rope around his neck, which Lobo easily bit off. The hunter refrained from shooting him so as not to ruin his fur. He asked for help from the people on the farm and took a new rope. When they returned, they didn't kill Lobo immediately, but tied his mouth and paws. They then threw him on a horse. At the farm, Lobo was still struggling to survive as he refrained from drinking the water the hunter gave him and eating the meat they threw at him. Ernest examined Lobo's body and was dazzled to see battle scars. He places a collar around Lobo and a strong chain. That time, Lobo never cried for help. It was like he did not want to let his pack rescue him. He resembled a lion stripped of its strength, an eagle deprived of freedom, and like a swan parted from his mate. The cunning wolf Lobo went through a lot as he lost his strength, freedom, and beloved mate. Then, in the morning, Lobo was still there, but no longer breathing as the hunter took the chain from his neck. One hunter helped move Lobo to where they placed the she-wolf Blanca's body. The hunter then uttered, "No one will tear you apart now." Lobo was finally with his beloved Blanca, both bodies coldly lying on the ground. After this incident, Ernest Seton Thompson ended his wolf hunting career and began to campaign to save nature and the American Wild West. It urged him to write his first wild animal story, choosing Lobo as his main character. He could not forgive himself for what he had done to Lobo. Ernest held on to Lobo's memory until the end of his own life. This ends the heartbreaking story of a wolf in love and how its tragic end changed a person. Thank you for watching. How does this story make you feel? I'd love to hear your thoughts.